Hey guys, Tomboy601, and today we're taking out Des Moines and we're talking about both the publicized nerf and what we're going to call the mysterious shadow nerf of the Des Moines. Because there's one little thing that wasn't really mentioned in the patch notes that is a nerf to the Des Moines, but you may not be thinking about it as a nerf to the Des Moines. Anyways, Commander, we're running the good old Victor Einstein, and well, we are here in the Des Moines. Probably my favorite legendary tier cruiser. It's just fun to play. And, you know, even after this nerf, it is still my go-to, which tells me maybe then, it's still a very good ship. So if you're not familiar with what was nerfed out the get-go, with this update, a couple of things came. First, they increased the reload from 5.5 seconds to 6 seconds. They decreased shell damage for HE from 2800 to 2550, AP from 5000 to 4500, and then the big one was they decreased the radar consumable time from 40 seconds down to 30 seconds. And those are the published nerfs of Des Moines. And as far as Battlefield commentary, we're pushing into C. We're kind of nosing out, seeing that no one has really pushed into C yet. So we're going to see if we can go ahead and kind of cap C without any fanfare, get it for our team. But the one thing that we didn't really get, the thing that wasn't really talked about, that definitely affects Des Moines, is the matchmaking. Last update, it was still in, it could still face tier 7 ships. Now going into this update, it will not face tier 7 ships, and as a result, its bow will be able to be overmatched by every single battleship it faces, which is a significant thing. There's no bouncing or ricocheting for the bow of this ship when coming up against battleships anymore, which is in its way a nerf on its own. How much does this affect the ship? I think it does and it doesn't, because let's be clear, we're in legendary tier, and I feel like whenever you're in legendary tier, the battleship you're facing 99.99999% of the time, or the battleship you end up facing majoritively is Yamato, and Yamato just overmatches everything. So does it really matter? No, but it does but it does get annoying. You'll see, I think every single battleship we face in this game coming up here is Yamato, which is going to overmatch us, that we do have to be cautious and careful of. So yeah, that's kind of just the thing. Does it affect Des Moines? Well, let's go ahead and get into this battle. So we've successfully taken C. That was our whole plan. Yamato comes around the corner. We're going to try to set some fires onto him, because we still have, for a heavy cruiser, a very good fire chance, and we can definitely get those. Minotaur pops up out in the rear. We get the double fire on Yamato. He hasn't damage conned, so he has some permafires that he can now deal with. While those permafires are doing damage, we're going to flip our attention to good old Minotaur over here. He's going to go broadside. We knock his torpedoes, flip over to AP, and let's see if we can go ahead and take Minotaur down before he disappears into his smoke, because of course that's kind of his whole shtick. That's what he's going to do. He's going to disappear into the smoke. He's starting to get away with us. We hit a huge 3 citadels right there, and well, Minotaur is no more. Yamato has put out his fires. We flip back over to the HE, and we're going to see if we can get a couple of fires on him. Of course, we're not really spotted right here, which is a very good thing for us, because as we said again, Yamato overmatchy our bow, much like any other battleship at the tier. But we're still doing good so far. Damage we've done very well, and well, we get absolutely slapped by the Yamato there, nearly dev struck, and that's just the danger Des Moines now has to live with. They nerfed Des Moines because I guess it was overperforming. I think it is and still will be my favorite cruiser to play. It just, it's a ship where if you have someone who knows what they're doing in it, it is an incredibly deadly machine. But it is also a ship where if you're playing recklessly, especially when you're up against other legendary tier ships, uh, you can absolutely get wiped in it. So I think it has this good balance. But according to Wargaming and the stat sheet nerds, it was too good of a balance for what it had. So it received the nerf that it did. Anyways, we've kind of fought off that Yamato. Haven't quite sunk him, but I'm more concerned about this mid push right here. We have this Yamato coming by. Of course, if we can find the Yamato's broadside, we should be able to do some significant damage to it. We can still get some pretty good hits, even though we are just a regular cruiser. Just because we're already just a cruiser. But who knows? We see C starts to get taken. We go ahead, pop the sonar. Nothing pops up in the sonar at this point. Enemy destroyer, we don't think he's around us, but we want a sit rep of the situation. So we're going to go ahead and pop the sonar, see what's going on, see what we can go ahead and get our hands on, see who's moving where and what and where and when and how and why. Trying to figure out our best play, because we're not really in a great spot as a team right now. The enemy team is definitely starting to overrun us, and they have 3 Yamatos to help them. So we are starting to be in the upper creek without any paddles, which I don't really get that saying, because I feel like you'd want to be up the creek and not down the creek without the paddle. But I guess you could portage. Anyways, we're going ahead trying to take as much damage as we can out of this Yamato sailing across the sea right here. Keep an eye on the Worcester. Our enemy battleship looks like he's trying to fight off the Worcester and the Yamato. We can't really give him great backup, because if we do, we are going to end up taking some massive hits from that Yamato. So instead, we're going to try clear out the other side over here, so that it frees up our lone battleship out on the side over there, and maybe he can start getting some crossfires. First Yamato goes down. Now we're on to this next nearly full health Yamato, and well, he has an agenda and he knows what he's doing. We're checking. Worcester is still at a pretty decent amount of health, and we can see this Yamato. He's thinking. He's like, okay, we have this Des Moines. What can I do with the Des Moines? What can I do? He's reversing, which, while yes, usually Yamatos when they're this deep don't really reverse, so we do need to be cautious. We don't want to play this too aggressively. We're trying to hide. We're seeing if we could pop around, see if we could get something done. He fires at us. Of course, we're going to take some massive damage from him. I was hoping to surprise him broadside, get those Yamato cheeks, and get some damage in. But now that we're engaging him, he's full forward onto us. We're going to go ahead, hit the reverse, and we're going to try to pull into this corner, because, of course, battleships don't have the best maneuverability, and we now have a sort of flat plate onto that cheek, that famous Yamato cheek, and you can see we are going to take him for some pretty big chunks of damage here. And if we can keep this up, we may just win this fight with the Yamato. We just have to keep kind of punching into the bow. We get the high cow right there. He's starting to turn in to close up that angle. He's doing some pretty good damage. We're doing some pretty good damage to him. Of course, he has a damage cycle that's going to happen every 30 seconds, so we need to really start outdamaging him. We're going to start firing up into that superstructure, try to get a fire onto him, because if we can get a fire, we should be good to go. We should be able to knock him out. But then enemy Worcester comes around, and that's going to go ahead and change the calculus of the situation. Much higher rapid firing guns. We need to take him out. He is now the priority. So we flip over to him, get the first citadels, then one more. Down he goes. Let's see if we can flip back over to Yamato. Maybe ram him, but we end up going down. So guys, that's the Des Moines. I think Yamato, or I still think Des Moines, fantastic ship. The nerf really didn't hurt it. We did get that sort of stealth nerf, but it's still fun. Pretty fun game, guys. If you like the video, go ahead, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. See ya.